All right, Alicia, this is quite the nasty topic here. I mean, the details in this article, what Schneiderman allegedly did to his former girlfriends, it's horrifying. They have pictures to substantiate it. Everything from slapping, spitting, to calling his brown girlfriend a slave and making her call him master. It's disgusting.
Disgusting is the extremely appropriate word. And I have to wonder, how long have these allegations been out there? There have been other Democrats, even though the mainstream media didn't talk about, there's a D after him, his name, and he was elected as a Democrat for this position. How many other Democrats were aware of this? Because there have been other Democrats within the Cuomo administration in the great state of New York that have had these kind of issues and sexual assault allegations against them. Cuomo came out very publicly today saying that he is not about this, and he asked the New York prosecutor to go ahead and investigate, which the New York City prosecutor said that they will indeed do. The New York Police Department said that they hadn't heard anything, but they would be willing to investigate and push through any charges, that they could find if these women decided to go ahead and press legal charges. As you said, two of those women spoke on the record. And I mean, I've spoken on the record about far, 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 far less offenses that have happened to me in my professional life. And even then I've gotten blowback. I cannot imagine the blowback that these women are getting, or the fear and the level of investigation and kind of coercing it took for Ronan Farrow and the New Yorker team to get them to come forward. And I say good for them for doing this. And the role-playing thing is just really disgusting. It is beyond to just say, oh, we were 50 Shadesing it. No, it is unbelievable. Carol Markowitz over at the New York Post even wrote today, she said, to show you how disgusting and how too powerful he really was, that where he thought he could get away with this, is that at one point when one of the women fought back, he said, you can't hurt me, it's a felony. Because of his position.
Right, and he said too, he told these women, he's like, these career women, because a lot of these women were divorced women who had high-powered careers, they had children from their previous marriages, and he said, career women who are single with no kids like to be dominated. You'd be surprised at how many women like to be treated like that. The fact that your mind could be so twisted to think that someone would enjoy abuse, I mean, I don't even know that there's vocabulary words to describe the level, just how gross this is. The protectionism, too, from the Democratic Party. I mean, my heart broke for these women who, I echo your sentiment. Kudos to them for coming out, talking about this. It's not easy. My heart broke reading about the woman who said, listen, when I told my friends, I was encouraged not to talk about it publicly because this is such a...
Hello?
Right, this is such a vulnerable position that could go Republican if Schneiderman were bumped out of this role. I mean, it's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. And you know what? Shame on Kirsten Gillibrand, who, of course, is coming out today saying this is a shame and that he needs to step aside. Because when Meghan McCain very accurately asked her on The View, okay, if you're going to be offended about these kind of levels of sexual harassment, where were you with Bill Clinton? How come you're all chummy with him? The hypocrisy is rife. And the fact that he got away with this for so long, and he was at the forefront of the Me Too movement, specifically in the state of New York, is an atrocity. And I think that the Democratic Party of New York should apologize. And they really need to cull their ranks. And listen, I'm the person that's like shoe on other foot as well. The Republican Party needs to continue to remain, and hopefully will continue to call out idiots, then remain above reproach here. Listen, I didn't want to lose the seat in Alabama to a Democrat, but I'd rather have a Democrat in there than give the liberals a talking point about, a child molester that had an R after their name for the next 5 or 10 elections.
Right. No, I agree with you 100% here. And I think, too, it's funny in the political sense that President Trump actually called this. He tweeted, I want to show on the screen here, I think it was from 2013. He talked about Schneiderman, and he said what Schneiderman did compared to Anthony Weiner or Elliot Spitzer is so much worse, so much worse. And he's right. I mean, I don't really know what could be worse than someone using their political power like Schneiderman did to abuse people and telling them that he is the law and they have no recourse if they don't tolerate and enjoy his abuse here. Alicia, and I'd be remiss if I don't bring this up too, the media bias around this story when it was breaking news last night. The Washington Post, Axios, CNN, NBC, the LA Times, Politico, none of these publications, which are probably the primary publications that we all see on our breaking news alerts on our phone, none of them mentioned Schneiderman's political party affiliation when they sent out this breaking news alert. None of them.
Oh, how interesting. Yeah, in the headlines about the Iran deal or, Oliver North being named president of the NRA, there's always like the worst part of their history or their Republican or conservative political affiliations that are mentioned by all of those mainstream media outlets. This isn't the first time that we've seen this happen. When you had Jim McGreevey, when you had other incidences of Democratic politicians doing these same things, the D so interestingly disappears from all media coverage.
Right, because when it's a Democrat, according to the left, it's an anomaly. When it's a Republican, it's typical. Planned Parenthood, too, got in on this action. They actually attacked Kellyanne Conway for calling out Eric Schneiderman. I mean, of all the issues in our country, Alicia, I don't understand why this isn't something that both parties get on board with and condemn and get rid of. Just ostracize these people from our society. But Planned Parenthood has to make this political. They said, delete your account to Kellyanne Conway when she said, gotcha, about catching Eric Schneiderman. I don't understand this. Why would they be harsher to a woman who's pro-life and conservative than a man who brutally beats 4 women?
Oh, because he's for their agenda. He's for abortion. He even admitted on Twitter a few weeks ago in a tweet that did not age well that, a woman's body should be the thing that she controls the most. And that's why after college, he went to work at an abortion clinic. So, that's a whole other topic for another day. But obviously, he doesn't really value or care about feminine life if that's something that he chose to do so quickly out of college. And then later in his adult years, this is how he abuses women. It's disgusting.
It is. It's absolutely disgusting. I still can't get over some of these details. Like I said, kudos to these women. They certainly, I know these women don't hold the same political views that I do, but I have their back solidly, as I'm sure, Alicia, do you and a lot of other conservative women, even though we don't agree.
No woman on earth deserves to be treated this way, whether it's an attorney general with an R or a D after their name. And no woman should be afraid of any man in power. And it just goes to show you, I think this is another argument for the smaller the government, the more transparent the government, the less this kind of crap is going to happen.